We are going to jump into this story. Pearl Jam drummer Matt Cameron says he's leaving the band after nearly 30 years. And this is kind of my era. I mean, I wasn't a big fan necessarily. They did have that song Jeremy. They had the song Jeremy that was pretty good, right? Other than that, I think myself, I kind of like Alice in Chains, more of a Alice in Chains type of guy, but really I don't follow any of these characters anymore. This is the band, apparently. Eddie Vedder. I've heard of Eddie Vedder. Here's Eddie Vedder right here. So this is kind of like the main character of the band. Singer, songwriter, activist, best known as the lead singer of Pearl Jam. Right? So I've heard of him. Who are these other guys? Even Matt Cameron, I'm not totally familiar with that guy, but you see there's Matt Cameron deciding to step away from the band. Mike McCready, Stone Gossard, Jeff Ament. And it looks like they've had other guys. A couple other guys on the drums here. As well, at one point, Dave Crewson, whoever that is, Matt Chamberlain. And you see Jack Irons, Dave Abruzese, however you pronounce that. Okay, so we have this dude here now trending. Matt Cameron. Again, drummer Matt Cameron says he's leaving the band after nearly 30 years. We'll see if this... Is it Inside Edition? Well, first, let me show you this. Check that out. You see that right there? Dude's name is Matthew. And Matthew equals 27 after 27 fantastic years. He steps away. Look at this. In our title, it says after nearly 30 years. Look when I go back. Oh, wrong one. Let's see if I can go back to the original search. Look at that right there. Before I click on the article, it has the 27 years right there. Pearl Jam drummer Matt Cameron exits band after 27 years. You see that? When Matthew equals 27. And then you click on it and it changes and it says 30 years. Isn't that interesting? And then Matthew's got the 27. I thought that was pretty cool. Look at the debut album here for Pearl Jam. Released on the 27th of August. You see that? 10. The debut studio album by the American rock band Pearl Jam, released on August 27th. Check that out. The 27, and then Matthew equals 27. Steps away after 27 years. Let's see if we can play this clip.
Matt Cameron has taken his final bow in Pearl Jam. After almost 3 decades with the legendary grunge band, Matt announced his departure in a heartfelt note, reflecting on his time rocking with the group led by Eddie Vedder. The 62-year-old says in a July 7th statement shared to the band's Instagram, "After 27 fantastic years, I have taken my final steps down the drum riser for the mighty Pearl Jam. Much love and respect to Jeff, Ed, Mike, and Stone for inviting me into the band in 1998 and for giving me the opportunity of a lifetime filled with friendships, artistry, challenges, and laughter." He continues, "I am forever grateful to the crew, staff, and fans the world over. It's been an incredible journey. More to follow. I thank you all from the bottom of my heart. Peace and love." And while Matt doesn't share the formal reason for his departure, his now former bandmates responded with a statement of support, saying in part alongside Matt's statement, "He will be deeply missed and is forever our friend in art and music. We love you, Matt." As he noted, Matt officially joined Pearl Jam in 1998 after the departure of drummer Jack Irons.
So after the departure of Jack Irons, they say he joined the band, and they're not, no reason why. I mean, this stuff doesn't hit for no reason. You know what I mean? Stuff doesn't hit for no reason. But isn't that awesome, though? After 27 years, Matthew equals 27 in the language, and this huge album, their debut album 10, released on the 27th. How about that? I think I should try to play the song Jeremy. Was Jeremy on 10? In case some of you may not be familiar, it's the 6th track on Pearl Jam's debut album 10. I'm going to try to play it a little bit. Let's see. See it? You just put Jeremy in and it pops up. So let's just take a.
So you think you know Wix, but do you really? First up, we've got.
Hear that? Hopefully you can hear that. Very familiar. I mean, you don't even have to be a fan. Go forward a little bit more. Right? I mean, come on, y'all have heard that before. Now let's hit the main part. And that's all I can play. Okay, so let's get back to some of these other connections here. So this guy leaves the band after 27 years. Matthew equals 27. Their debut studio album released on the 27th. This guy is a drummer, right? I think they said he became a drummer like later on or whatever, but he's labeled as a drummer. Look at this. And, drums has 60 and 75 like his name. Look at that. And these are just 4-bass ciphers, okay? So isn't that cool? Drums, 75 and 60. Matthew Cameron, 75 and 60. Look at how drums has 33 like his last name, Cameron. Drums has 60. And look, 4th of July has 60. Remember, we just passed the 4th of July, so you're getting some of that 4th of July energy with this trending character. Even the anniversary of the debut album of Pearl Jam, the upcoming anniversary's got 60 date numerology. And look at his upcoming birthday, November 28th, 33 date numerology to go with Cameron 33, drums 33. And I think this is cool as well because you see we just hit with 4th of July with the 60, like his name and drums, and the debut album anniversary release of 10 with the 60. Look at that. Independence Day equals 128 and his birthday is 11/28, which is like 128, right? 1128 128. Even though this statement saying that he's leaving the band was July 7th, again, you still got that 4th of July energy. Even look at July 4th when you write it out. Look at July 4th equals 100 in ordinal, 28 in reduction. Isn't that cool? That's like 128. So July 4th equals 128, which is Independence Day. Independence Day equals 128. Dude's birthday 11/28. I think that's pretty cool there. This is a number I've seen recently in a trending story or two. Unfortunately, I was just able to track down one of the breakdowns with the 144, but it's still relevant to bring up. And you see, this is him with the arrow. But this statement of him stepping away from the band on 7/7, 144 days before his birthday, and 144 just hit with this trending story that I covered. Mass shooting in Chicago at like a restaurant lounge where there was 4 killed, 14 wounded. You see that? Or you could just say 14 wounded, 4 killed, which is 144. You see that right there? And that was synced up with the rapper Mellow Bucks, as it was like a release party for her album that just dropped. So you get the 144, you get the 144. There, like I said, there was one more 144. I just wasn't able to really track it down. You know what else I'm noticing here? You get this statement that he's stepping away from the band on 7/7. 7 plus 7 is 14, right? And then 14 plus 14 is 28, which is interesting. And he's born on the 28th. So that's kind of cool right there. And this news on 7/7, United States equals 77, which kind of has that 4th of July vibe, right, with Independence Day. You see, United States has 77 right there. And while we're here, look at this. United States has 77 like stars. Isn't that cool? Think about it, stars and stripes. USA, America. What does stars and stripes equal? I'm curious. What about just stripes? Wow, look, stripes has 47. That's interesting, right? Ooh, stripes has 47. So look, that does sync up with Trump, but that syncs up with Independence Day, which is kind of cool as well. Anyways, let's just get back over here. He just finished a year-long tour with the band in support of its 12th studio album called Dark Matter. And Dark Matter syncs up with his name. Remember, drums syncs up with his name. He's a drummer. Dark Matter is the new album, I guess. Look at that. 159 like Matthew Cameron. What are the chances of that? And you get 39 and 69 just with Cameron with the match. I don't think I looked up the release date, so we're going to do that on the fly right now. Dark Matter release date album. Oh, okay, so they're touring. Even though this album was 419, I guess they said they're. Did they say they were like still touring or whatever? He just finished a year-long tour with the band. Okay, and that was the 12th studio album, Dark Matter. You know what we're going to do on the fly? We're going to see how many days that album released after his birthday. That's an important day in history as well. That was the OKC bombing anniversary right there, which is probably going to definitely make this video I'm making not hit the algorithm even more. We're even going to be buried more, y'all. So let's do his birthday to that album release. I mean, they mention it. They say he just got done with the 1 year after a year-long tour. So he's got the 11/28 birthday. Let's do this on the fly. And then that album released 4/19/2024. Oh, okay, so we need 2023 right here. Let's see. Look at that. What do you think about that? What do you think about that? On the fly, we land. We're still going to be buried in the algorithm, right? He just comes off of the year-long tour of that 12th album called Black Matter, 144-day span from his birthday before the album released to the album release, April 19, 2024, is a 144-day span. And we just hit the 144 right there. Isn't that amazing? The news that he's stepping away from the band is 144 days before his birthday. And we land on the fly with the 144? You think I'm wild over here? And look at his birthday before that last album release. 62 numerology. He is age 62, y'all. You get 19 date numerology, and then Black Matter released on the 19th. Isn't that wild? Isn't that amazing? That is completely amazing right there. Isn't that awesome how I can go on the fly like that and it lands? That's pretty damn cool. It is, right? Wow, look at that 39. Did I miss that earlier? 30, his birthday 11/28, 39. Let's see. Where is it? Am I thinking about another decode? Oh, maybe I'm thinking about another decode. Oh, there it is right there. Dark Matter 39. Cameron 39. And his birthday is 11/28. 11 plus 28 is 39, y'all. I mean, come on. It doesn't get no better than that. So they say he first joined in 98 as a temporary replacement for Jack Irons, playing on a long tour before making his studio debut with the group. I don't know what they're talking about. Like studio debut. Earlier it said this is their debut studio. I hate when I hate when they do that. You ask Google, this album 10 is what we know when we think of Pearl Jam. So I mean, it's like, how many debuts can you have? But anyways, whatever they're referring to, they say he was a temporary replacement for Jack Irons here. And look, Jack Irons, his birthday is 11 days from now. Right? Well, actually, it's the 8th right now. So his birthday is in 10 days. As I record this, it's the 8th. You know, so he replaces this dude. This dude's birthday is right around the corner. Look at how this dude is born in 62. Jack Irons. And Matt Cameron right now is age 62, which is also born in 62. You see that? So Matt Cameron's birthday just a few months after Jack Irons. But yes, Jack Irons' birthday right around the corner. He was also a drummer for Soundgarden for more than a decade before joining Pearl Jam, and Soundgarden has 50 like Pearl Jam. 50 syncs up with the United States as well, right? 50 states. I think they still say that, right? 50 states. Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, is there 50 stars on the flag? I don't know, the way they be changing things. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Remember this news coming on 7/7, 3 days after 4th of July. We had the Independence Day 4th of July connections earlier. That's pretty cool. Soundgarden syncs up with Pearl Jam.
In a move that has stunned the rock world, Matt Cameron is officially split with Pearl Jam after an incredible 27-year run as their drummer. The news broke earlier today when both Cameron and the band posted statements on their social media accounts confirming the end of an era. This isn't a rumor, it's official, and it marks one of the most significant lineup changes in the band's long history. Cameron was the first to announce the news, sharing a heartfelt message with fans. He wrote, "After 27 fantastic years, I have taken my final steps down from the drum riser for the mighty Pearl Jam. Much love and respect to Jeff, Ed, Mike, and Stone for inviting me into the band in 1998 and for giving me the opportunity of a lifetime, one filled with friendships, artistry, challenges, and laughter. I am forever grateful to the crew, staff, and fans the world over. It's been an incredible journey. More to follow. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart." Shortly after, Pearl Jam shared Cameron's post and added their own statement, making it clear the split is amicable and filled with respect. The band wrote, "From being one of our first musical heroes in the bands Skin Yard and the mighty Soundgarden to playing on our first demos in 1990, Matt Cameron has been a singular and true powerhouse of a musician and drummer."
So he was with the band called Skin Yard. So how did we get the name Pearl Jam? How did they get the name Pearl Jam? There's always some symbolism that may go over my head. Drawing inspiration from both Eddie Vedder's family, his story, and band's musical style, while Vedder initially claimed the name came from his great-grandmother Pearl. That sounds like a lie. Who had a special peyote lace jam recipe. This story is considered fabrication. Look at that. The Pearl part of the name is attributed to bassist Jeff Ament. We can't believe nothing they tell us. Look at Jeff Ament. You get jam in his name. J and then am. It doesn't matter what they say, dude. Name the bands from Seattle grunge. We had Nirvana, Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, Pearl Jam. Right? Let's go ahead and put Seattle in the calculator. This is what's cool about being a decoder. You could just like kind of go on and just do things on the fly. You saw we landed that 144. Soundgarden's got S like Seattle. Seattle's got 44. Remember, S is the 19th letter. Remember, we landed on 144 earlier as well. Let's just put a few of these in here. Soundgarden. There's that 50. Let's put Nirvana. I'm seeing the 47, and I think I'm seeing 110 and 34 a few times. Alice in Chains. That's interesting. You got Alice, and then you got Pearl, which could be names, right? Like female. Alice in Chains. I'm seeing the 82. Look, there's that 107 again, and there's that 62 again. Look at this. Alice in Chains, 107 like Seattle. Remember, this character, Matt Cameron, is age 62. Born in 62. Look at Seattle's got 82 like Alice in Chains. Isn't that cool? That's pretty cool. And there may be some other numbers in here I'm just missing. They said he was in a band Skin Yard. You see 101, Nirvana 110, Dark Matter, the last Pearl Jam the 12th album, they said. I don't think they've had any since then. 111. And I may have seen another 110 in there as well. That's pretty cool though, right? What about grunge? They consider some of this stuff grunge. Look at grunge has 27. Matthew equals 27. Leaves Pearl Jam after 27 years. And their debut studio album titled 10 was released on the 27th of August. Check that out. I saw something about 1991 as well. Or they said he joined the band in 98, right? Let's go back over here. Joined the band. He first joined in 98. So yes, this is 27 years later. Okay, I'm tripping. Pretty cool though, right? Pretty cool. Okay, so I really enjoy that 144 connection on the side. You see some of those connections with some of the other bands. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Okay, so I hope you enjoy this little breakdown. Again, nothing serious here, but some interesting connections. The stuff doesn't happen where it just goes trending for no reason. All of this stuff is by the numbers. There's certain patterns. It's all for a reason. So, you just got to take note of the language, Pearl Jam. So, we may get some other stories with the language where maybe it sounds like Pearl Jam or something like that. We may have a character named Pearl on the world stage who starts trending. There may be somebody like Cameron. You may get like a Cam Newton story, Cameron Diaz. Just if you're a decoder out there, decoding 101, look at the language. Get familiar with your characters on the world stage. And that just kind of adds to your decode. Okay, so I appreciate positive vibes, being able to do this. It's for fun, it's for a hobby. I may need to decrease it a little bit though. I mean, I drop a lot of videos. I may need to decrease a little bit though, as I'm not doing this to get paid. So I may have to substitute some of this time into getting paid somehow, doing something that gets me paid. Something else to add to the list. But shout out to y'all. Pearl Jam drummer Matt Cameron says he's leaving the band after nearly 30 years. Until next time, peace.